Okay, everybody, this is your review for your test tomorrow, Friday. So let's just jump in and get it done. So, number one, talking about ionic compounds. Two types of elements that ionic compounds are made of. They are made up of metals and they're made up of nonmetals. That's fairly easy. That's just a memorization. Five properties of ionic compounds. Well, they're made up of metals and nonmetals, that's for sure. So we'll write that. Then we do know that they are hard typically. We do know that they have high boiling points and melting points. We also know that their solutions, like salt water, conduct electricity. So we're not going to ask you all those, but those are the main things. So that's really five, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're good. Or we can say they transfer electrons. So we can say that also. They do transfer electrons. Easy. In an ionic compound, are electrons shared or transferred? They are transferred. And I showed you the one where you have sodium with the 1 valence electron. You had chlorine that had 7 valence electrons. And that 1 gets transferred to the chlorine to form sodium chloride. And that looks like this thing right there. Okay, 3 sentences explaining how ionic compounds are formed or named. Well, first you have to write the name of the first element. Oops, first, let me write the word first properly. Oops, that's not the eraser. There it is. Wow, that's a big eraser. Write the name of first element. Okay, just for hydrogen or lithium or beryllium or whatever. Just write the name of it. Secondly, write the name. That's ditto marks, by the way, of the second element. Then add ID in the end, like sodium chloride or magnesium oxide, things like that. If there's a polyatomic ion involved, on the second part, then write the name of that too. Write its name also. Okay. Nonmetals, they have to gain electrons to become negative ions, and metals lose electrons to become positive ions. All right. Let me show you how this goes. So we're trying to fill in this chart below. The first column, we've got the name of the compound. The charges in the second, the unsimplified version in the third column. In the last column, we've got the formula for it. We're going to cross this going off. I told you guys cross that off. All right, potassium bromide. So potassium bromide is simple. Potassium has a +1 charge, or 1 plus. And bromide versus bromine has a 1 minus. So those charges are the same, so we're going to list K1Br1, and the formula is KBr. Okay. Now the second one, we have copper and fluorine here. So we have copper 2 fluoride because of this 2 right there. So remember, the charge of the, oops, that's a big mistake there. Let me change the size of that thing. Oh, 1 second. There we go. Way too big. There we are. The charge on the cation, or that transition element, that cation, you got to make sure if it's transition or not. If the charge on that, if you have a charge on that, you have to list that in parentheses as a Roman numeral. And so let me get this back to where we were, Br 1 minus. Okay, so we have copper 2, Roman numerals, and it's fluoride. Unsimplified would be, oops, wow, we're really screwing up, would be CuF2 to CU1F2, and then we kind of release that. We change that as to being CUF2. All right. So we're just switching those numbers. So if you look here, we take that 2, we put it there. Take that 1, we put it there, and we did that over in this area here. And then you just reduce it down. Okay. Anyway, let's do one more, and let's do this one down here, and that's where we have aluminum, and we have hydroxide. Okay, and we have aluminum as a 3+ there, and hydroxide with a 1-. So we're going to switch those numbers, and we're going to have Al1OH, and they have a 3 there, so we'll put that in parentheses. Simplify it. Excuse me. AlOH3. Okay. Well, maybe I should do one more. No, this is calcium phosphate. Calcium is the first element. Phosphate is the second. So these charges here, those numbers will be reversed. That'll be Ca with a 2+, and phosphate PO4 with a 3-. And therefore, the reduced formula is this right here. So it's Ca3PO4 2. Okay. Next one. Type of elements are covalent compounds made up of, and those would be 2 non-metals. And like if you see something like this, F2, that's a covalent bond. Any of those diatomics, we talked about hydrogen, that's a covalent bond. We had oxygen, we had fluorine, we had bromine, those kind of things. Though when you see that, those are all covalent bonds because of the non-metal nature of that. We have 2 non-metals there. 2 Fs, 2 hydrogens, 2 Os, 2 Brs, 2 Is. Those are all covalently bonded. Properties of covalent bonds. Well, they are not hard and brittle. Okay. They are not that way. They share electrons. That's for sure. They are non-metals. Okay. That's for sure. And a couple other things about covalent compound solutions. Do not conduct electricity, which is true. They don't conduct electricity. Let's see what else we can say about that. I think 4 is enough. Okay. I said 5, but 4 is good. In a covalent compound, are electrons shared or transferred? They are shared. 3 sentences explaining how covalent compounds are named. Well, again, just like the ionic compound, write the name of the first element, then write the name of the second element, and add IDE, bromide, chloride, sulfide, oxide, iodide, those kind of things. Add prefixes where appropriate. When I'm talking about a prefix, appropriate. And remember what those were. 1 meaning mono or mon, 2 di, 3 tri, 4 tetra, 5 penta, 6 hexa, 7 hepta, 8 octa, 9 nona, 10 deca. All of those in your notes. And here they are. Mon, or some people put mono, di, tri, tetra, before. We have penta. We have hexa, hepta, octa, nona, deca. And so for something like this, we have phosphorus pentafluoride. Well, phosphorus is simple. That's P. Penta, meaning 5, and fluoride, of course, is fluorine. So that prefix, remember, like I said before, becomes the subscript. So F5, or pentafluoride, there it is. Phosphorus pentafluoride. Boron tribromide, boron tribromide. Diphosphorus, now we're using a prefix in the front, pentafluoride, diphosphorus. Oh, the pentasulfide, excuse me. And penta, there we go. SiO2, silicon dioxide. Okay. Here we have oxygen difluoride, or you can say dioxygen fluoride, doesn't matter. And then we have nitrogen trichloride. Anyway, those are your answers to this review. Pretty easy to do. Multiple choice. This completed review is 5 extra points. I get the 5 points on your paper. You turn that in tomorrow before the test. Please study a bit tonight. 25 questions, I think. And good luck to you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.